What is up, guys? It is the Blue Bloods here, and we're always looking to expand what schools we've had on the show. And this is our first Tarleton State interview. And I promise you, if you haven't heard of this school, you will. They just moved up to FCS, made a statement this year with some big wins, including their one over Central Arkansas, who was ranked this season in the top 25. And we got the man who leads it all, quarterback Stevan Duncan, All-American in the WAC this year, former Western Kentucky quarterback. So, Steven, appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
So, let's go way back before Western Kentucky, before Tarleton State. What was your high school recruiting process like? Which teams were recruiting you the hardest? And just looking back, how did you handle this overall experience?
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I really had a good opportunity coming out of high school to go to Western Kentucky. They were obviously a big school that recruited me. Appalachian State did. South Carolina came in late there when Muschamp had got the job. And then, some FCS schools, Western Carolina, Towson, Cornell. There are a lot of FCS schools. And then, what I narrowed it down to after that was just Appalachian State, Western Kentucky. And then when South Carolina came in late, they gave me something to think about. And then, Western Carolina was a big deal because they were one of the first teams to offer me. So that was kind of my recruiting process. Nothing too big. I know some of these guys nowadays, they get all the 4 or 5 stars and all that stuff. I wasn't one of those guys. I think I was maybe a 3-star. So, I mean, I didn't get any of the huge, big time, crazy stuff, but, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love the story that I have, and just to come up and do it the way I did with the guys I did in high school was something that was really fun.
For sure, man. And you mentioned some big names. I mean, Appalachian State has been dominating the Sun Belt. Western Kentucky has won a CUSA title, including yourself on that team. But what made you commit to Western Kentucky? What was it about the program that drew you to them?
Well, at the time, one of my 3 head coaches there, Coach Braun was there, and he had a great program. Coach Helton, who's actually the current head coach, was the quarterback coach there before he left to USC when I was getting recruited. And I really enjoyed talking to them. I love the team. I love the atmosphere they had created. It's kind of that underdog mentality. No one in the Conference USA really respected us. We came off of I think a 7-6. I think it was a Bahama Bowl victory over Central Michigan, and then that next year, they came in, they won it all, beat Southern Miss. That was my senior year in high school, and then still no one really respected us. I enjoyed that. Those guys, kind of the gritty people that went and did it, and then they were throwing for a lot of yards. So quarterback's dream. To go out and sling it. And then my first year backing up Mike White was awesome. That was a great team. There were some guys on that team that still have records at that school that probably won't be touched. But it was a great experience to just be able to go there. That was a big reason why I ended up there, was just the offense, the prolific style of it, throwing it like that, and just the people that were on that team.
For sure, Matt. And you enter the transfer portal. And, one, what led you to the transfer portal? And 2, how different was your high school recruiting process from your transfer portal recruiting process?
Yeah, no, one of the big reasons was I went in the portal was I had 3 head coaches. I want to say 5 position coaches at Western Kentucky. And, I really will say this till the day I die. I love Western Kentucky still to this day. I was a fan. I'm an alum from the school, so when Bailey Zappi was putting up those numbers, I'm talking crap to some of the guys around here, just lighthearted stuff, just, hey, I'm an alum. I still love that school. I just felt that after breaking my foot versus Louisville and playing on that, it was just, it was time for me to just kind of get a change of scenery. It's like I couldn't get out of a drought there, I wanted to break out, wanted to have some consistency, and that was just something that I had to do, and just get my confidence back. So that was something that was just led me to the transfer portal. And then when I got in, the difference in high school and college transfer portal recruiting is just like the upfrontness about, when you're in the portal. And I was an older guy. I had a medical year, and then this was before the COVID year came out. I had one more year, so. A lot of teams and a lot of coaches are just upfront with you. Like, look, this is what we're looking for. This is what we need you for. I can remember having a conversation with Georgia State. Coach Glenn, who's at Virginia Tech now, is I hit him up, we're talking. He was like, well, we have a kid, that we think could be a good quarterback. And, you're going to have to come in here and win it in the fall and stuff like that. You don't hear as a high school senior coming in. So it's just very upfront. A lot of the coaches I had dealt with in the past, and I have a lot of respect for all of them. And that was just something that was different, just upfront. This is what's going to happen. This is what we need. This is what we're looking for. This is our culture. It's just how it is. And, it's just it's awesome to have that.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be refreshing to just get it straight instead of going somewhere and it being completely different from what you were expecting. But we got to get to the question why you are at Tarleton State right now. What made that the place for you? What was their recruiting pitch, and what was their recruiting process like for them?
Yeah, it was the reason I'm at Tarleton State is that there's just like a atmosphere here. It's a small town. It's just they love football, and the thing is, like I could see it in the portal. Yeah, when I first got here, it was the first year FCS or whatever. But the school here and the amount of budget they're putting for football, the things that they're doing for other sports, not only the football, just to be potentially a FBS school, which will happen, I believe, sooner rather than later. But it's going to happen within the next 5 years. This school wants to be a big time school in Texas. They want to be a big time school in the nation. They want to be known. And just to be a part of something like that, I know that we can't make the playoffs while I'm here or anything like that. We can win the WAC championship, but to know for a fact that there's a school that's going to put everything behind you and the guys that are in that locker room with me, that meant a lot to me. And to be a part of the first couple teams to go out and play for Tarleton State is something that it really took, a hold of me. And I wanted to be that guy leading this team and be the guy that they look back on and say, hey, he helped us out get to Division I and kind of set the standard straight. I mean, there's a lot of great quarterbacks here in the past. Ben Holmes, he drafted first round in the USFL. He set the standard. He did a great job. So looking at what he did and trying to follow in his footsteps, he's a great player. Yeah, guys like Richard Bartell, all these guys that have been great players here and made it to professional leagues. That's something that I really wanted to be a part of.
Man, and you talk about the resources. I mean, you guys have only been really just a season and a half because of the COVID at FCS. They're already expanding the stadium and doing a bunch of renovations on campus. So that like you said, Tarleton State is committed to the next level. But this season, man, your first full season at FCS at Tarleton State, you guys have a winning record in the first season. Get some big wins on the resume. What were your final takeaways from this season as
Well, I think that we came together as a team. We went through the learning structure because it's a lot different. And even Coach Whitten says it all the time. What we're going to face each week is going to be the hardest schedule and hardest things that this team and this university has faced since it's been established. So just going through the locker room with these guys and fighting every day. You know what? I think we had a little 2-game losing streak there, and then we got hot. And then thing is like learning what it takes to be great at this level and just seeing it with a lot of the young guys and stuff like that. It's something that we got to take pride in. And it's very great. We got a lot of great athletes. We got a great offensive line, great running backs. We had Tyreek Bitson as a receiver. He's a big time player. JF Thomas, I know I couldn't have any success without those guys that are out there. And then this year, just with those guys coming back, we got a lot of people returning. I think we lost one on the offensive line. And then we lost our receivers, but we got some good guys coming in. We lost a great running back in Raheem Skinner and Jay McDonald. So, I'm excited just to see what we did in the first official year, not just a spring year where we played New Mexico State and a couple of those other teams, but, going through and having that year with everybody that was here is something that was great. But I'm really looking forward to 2022 and my last and 7th year, because of the medical stuff. So I want to go take what we did in 2021 with the winning season and just kind of build on that. There's a lot of great teams in the conference with Sam Houston and SFA and Abilene Christian and Lamar and everybody around this conference. It's a really jam-packed conference in FCS if you look at it. But just go in and I want to win a WAC championship, bring the first one to the school. That's our goal after the 2021 season, because we can play with anybody. It just depends how we're going to do it and how we're going to come forth every week. And I think that we have a good team coming forward this next year, and I think we're going to have a chance.
Man, I love it. And you guys winning the WAC would be just remarkable in only your second full season at FCS. I don't even know if that's been done with another program, but one of your breakout performances this year, man. I remember this is kind of when Tarleton State was on my radar, and I was like, man, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers against Sam Houston, the defending national champions, man. Walk me through this game. What was clicking this day and what led to this, record-setting performance for you?
Again, just I couldn't have done any of that without those guys up front, the guys around me. I could throw it, I still can't catch it. Those guys that were out there catching it, they did a lot with that 400 yards. There was times that they'd go out and make plays, and I just made it easy for me. It's like I was playing point guard in one of the big three systems back with KG and all those guys with the Celtics. I was Rondo or something, but no, it was really easy. It wasn't easy in regard to Sam Houston. They're a great defense. It was our game plan. We got to come out here and stress them vertically and see if we can compete. And I think we competed well. That's a great team that they had, number one team, defending national champs, like you said. But like I said, I think we can play with anybody in the country, and that doesn't matter. FBS, Power Five, defending national champions. At the end of the day, it's football. What are you going to do with it? And when you got good players around you and guys that want to win, good things happen. And I think we prepared the right way that week and took it serious. And if we can put that mindset into every week, I think we'll be pretty good.
Man, for sure. And looking a little bit ahead, I know it's the next game up mentality for the leaders of the team like yourself, but putting that aside for the show, man, what game on the 2022 schedule are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking towards the first one. It's the first last one of my guaranteed anything. I have aspirations to get to the league and play in the NFL, but Mississippi Valley State, that's where Jerry Rice played, so that's something that's big to me. I'm a football junkie. I love the history of football. I love where guys played and seeing what they're about. But TCU will be cool. But again, I just one week at a time is like you said yourself. It's just that's something I'm looking forward to. It's just getting out in front of our fans on a Thursday night, in front of that big new stadium that we're going to get. The south end zone is going to be filled in, and hopefully we can pack it out versus Mississippi Valley State first Thursday of the week on ESPN. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, I will just let you know, you can tune in here. We're covering that show, Big Swag Podcast too. So that game was going to be previewed on this channel, man. I'm looking forward to it. One of my games to watch this year. But everything runs through the head coach, and you guys have one of the most successful head coaches in the FCS, Todd Whitten. What makes him such a successful coach behind the scenes, and what is his relationship like with the players?
And Coach Whitten, he's a great head coach. He was a big reason that I came too. Just he's upfront and honest about everything. He's never going to leave anything to question. And then if you have a question, you can go in and talk to him and ask him anything you want. You know what I mean? So that's something that's big. As a players coach, he tells you how it is, and he's got a mind for football. He's really sharp minded. He has everything under control, and it's like you never know what's about to happen. He's ready to go every day. Sitting in the film room with him, picking his brain. He's been in the game a long time, and he's a great head coach. He's done it at every level. He's even played and done it at every level. So to have a guy like that, especially at the position that he played, which is my position, is just a blessing for me. To be there, to be able to learn from him, and me wanting to be a potential coach, just be able to learn how he runs a program. What's he thinking here? I know he probably gets tired of the questions that I ask him, but he'll spit off an answer every time I ask. So, but he's a great coach. He's a great players coach. He understands what we need, and he looks out for his guys. That's a big thing. When you have a head coach that that has your back, you're going to go through and do whatever hell or high water for him. So I think that's why he's had a lot of success prior to Tarleton, and obviously being the winningest coach in Tarleton's history is why he's had all the success here.
Man, absolutely. Multiple time conference champion, multiple D2 playoff appearances. The list goes on and on about head coach Whitten. But let's go back, man. 7 years. I know you're about to enter your seventh year. So this one might be a little tough. You got to remember way back to freshman year. How has your game evolved from freshman year, Western Kentucky, that redshirt year, to the guy I'm talking to now entering his final season?
Yeah, I think just maturity. I've always been able to throw it. I've always been able to put the ball out there and let guys go get it. But In high school, I knew defenses, but I didn't know it as good as I thought I did. I got to Western Kentucky. I got to learn behind NFL quarterback Mike White, who had that huge game versus Cincinnati. And he's just such a great player, and he would let me pick his brain. And then I had a lot of great position coaches and head coaches. I mean, I had Coach Brom, and then his brother as my position coach my first year, and then to have Coach Sanford and Coach Helton come back and Coach Ellis come and teach me every little part of ball. That's something that's kind of helped me mature while I was at Western Kentucky, and just having all those coaches. I know it felt like there was a lot of turnover, but looking back now, it's just there's so many systems I was in, so many different styles of coaching allowed me to see every side of football. And then coming to Tarleton, like I said, having a players coach like Coach Whitten, that's been prolific at everything he does, whether it's playing, whether it's coaching. That's a great thing that I've had. My first year is him being my position coach, and then Coach Austin, coming and being our position coach now. He's maybe probably one of my favorite coaches I've ever had, and I owe a lot to him because I can go and talk to him, and he's very open. Doors always open with him, and we're always talking ball, whether it's, run schemes. How do we pass? How are we going to block this week? Just getting in with him and picking his brain and seeing what he sees and having him up in the box and being able to jump on the phone during game days, just helping me mature, helping me always just see things that I may not have. So just all the great coaching, I feel like, has helped me mature and become the player I am now. Like I said, I can't do it without anybody out on the field, all those other positions around me. And then on top of that, you can't do it without great coaches. And I've had the blessing to have a whole bunch of them.
Man, for sure. And final season, you mentioned your NFL aspirations, and I think that's well on its way after last season, man. But which NFL quarterback do you try to model your game after the most?
That's hard. I try and just watch a lot of football, but I love Tom Brady. He's probably one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time. But Brett Favre was a guy I really, really watched growing up, just having one of the stronger arms, trying to fit it into some holes that you probably, some guys can't get it to, but I'm going to take the risk to get it there. But I don't know. I have conversations, around our facility. Coach, who do you think we all play like? We'll always ask him. And, I don't know. I've got the old school Big Ben, just because I'm bigger, 6'5", 240 pounds. So I don't know. I like the old school guys. I'm never going to flash anybody like Lamar and just take off running. Maybe some Josh Allen with some more runs this year. Who knows? I don't know. But hopefully there's a scout out there that can tell me one day if I get that opportunity.
I love it, man. And listen, I'm a big Brett Favre fan too.
Awesome.
But man, I know I was very superstitious when I was playing. But for you, what is your pregame routine on game day?
So man, I'm really away. I'm always in the facility. I try and stay with my parents and my girlfriend. They'll be in town, and I'm just there. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go over to the facility. I'll see y'all later. And just because at home games we stay here in our own apartments, so to be able to get away and kind of just clear my head, go watch some more film. Watch the games on. That's something that I enjoy doing. Throw a dip in or two and relax, and that's kind of my routine. Me and Hunter Tuberville, who's right next to me, that was kind of our thing. Just relax. It's just another day during the week. I remember we're playing Sam Houston, out on the field. Any last second advice, you just say, hey, it's just ball, baby. It's what we do every day. So it's just kind of that mentality. It's trying. No stage is too big. It's just football at the end of the day. Just treat it like another day, like it would be practice. So.
Man, I love that saying. It's just ball. That's it. You gotta go out there and play. And I know you're busy. You gotta be quarterbacks. This question is always real tricky, but we've seen quarterbacks, say some words. And I know DBs and D linemen are one of the worst, or some of the worst position groups in terms of trash talking. How big of a trash talker are you during the game?
I'm really not a trash talker to anybody in the game. I get trash talked. I may say like, oh, good hit. I think, the mind tricks of not saying anything or complimenting their game kind of gets them like, wait, what? This guy just, he said that my game was good instead of every time hearing, oh, you suck or blah, blah, blah. That's kind of repetitive. You hear there's not too much different stuff. you know. Against Central Arkansas, actually, there was a defensive end that the whole game we didn't trash talk at all. He didn't trash talk me. The first time I played him at Western Kentucky, he did. But the whole second time, we were like just chatting like old friends out on the field. So I don't know if that's just me getting older and just not having the energy to go out and trash talk. I got a lot to do. I got 10 other guys that I have to make sure are on the right page. And then after that, they expect a lot out of me. So I want to give them the most. So I don't talk too much trash. So.
And I know a quarterback. Everyone everyone could throw everything, but for you, what's your favorite route to throw?
Favorite route to throw? Oh man, there's nothing like hitting a deep ball, and that's what we attack here at Tarleton. And that was a big reason I'm here. But just throwing a go route or a post route in stride, typically, in my opinion, the go route, especially to the field, hitting a go route to the field or even to the boundary, just in stride. If you hit one of those early in the game, it feels good. That's something I love hitting, just attacking them vertically and, sending a statement to that DB. Hey, we're here, we're here to play football and we're going to come at you. And you may get us a couple times. We may get you a couple times, but we're going to play some ball today.
I love it, man. And then, every quarterback, Sean Watson had the arrow, and every quarterback has their go-to signature celebration. When you hit that deep ball and you get the touchdown, what's your go-to celebration?
Honestly, with our running back staying in protection a lot, I kind of just look over at him, give him a high five. I celebrate with the guys. I try and always just take the moment in after it happens because you never know when it's done. So try and take the moment in, celebrate with my guys, celebrate with the offensive lineman, and maybe give a fist bump. I get pretty animated with the fist bump. I kind of punch the air. So that's I'm not an arrow or too flashy of a guy, but I do get a little animated with my teammates. I want to celebrate and do it as much as I can with those guys.
And man, you mentioned the team goal is of course winning the WAC. Not playoff eligible, but winning the conference championship would be a huge goal. But what are some of your personal goals for your final season in 2022?
Yeah, I definitely have some. My touchdown goal is to hit over 30 touchdowns passing this year, and then try and get up to 5 rushing. And then passing yard wise, I've crunched a little numbers. I know a lot of guys say they don't do this, but that's a lie. I think if I have a good year and I throw for over 3,000 yards, that put me close to 9,000 in my career. So that's something that I've looked at. But really, I don't care if I throw for 100 yards or if I throw for 400 every game, as long as we're winning games. My personal goals don't really mean too much if the team isn't doing great. So, yeah, as much as I would love to throw for 3,000 plus this year and get to that 9,000 mark, I just want to win football games, and I don't care if it's by 1 or if it's by 50. So that's kind of my thing is what's it going to take for us to win. So that's my goal.
Hey, a W is a W, man. They don't, like you said, don't matter if it's by 1 or 50 at all. But give a little credit to the other side of the ball, man. Who are some of the best defensive players that you've ever had to face?
Best defensive players. Oh, man. Robert Rochelle, I played him when he was at Central Arkansas. I thought he was a heck of a player. He actually picked me off. And then his cousin actually plays on my team right now. So I got to hear him a little bit whenever he was at the Central Arkansas game. Who else? Malik Gant. He popped my AC joint out when I ran a touchdown versus Marshall. He was pretty good. I think he spent some time with the Patriots. But I had to give some credit and some love to a kid last year by the name of Devo. He is a baller. He was All-American in everything. Tarleton State legend. He is a big time player. Devin Hafford is a big time player. He's in the draft this year. So hopefully he can get drafted and take his aspirations. I think he really deserves every bit of that. That kid may be undersized, but he packs a punch and he works his tail off. So I think he's probably one of the best players I've ever played, and seeing his work ethic behind the screen is what really stood out to me.
I will second everything you said about it. He should be in the league. I mean, was watching you guys last year, and he's one of those players that just pops off the screen. You're like, I got to know Who is that?
Yeah,
And, you mentioned the Central Arkansas trash talk. You guys got the best of them in a pretty convincing way this year. So they really got to shut that down fast, man. But, you've played at the FBS level. Now you're at the FCS level, and you're going to be entering the draft after next season. And we all know the narrative, man. FCS players consistently get overlooked. What is your response to those who are going to overlook you for playing at the FCS level?
well, I mean, if they want to, that's on them. But I just need one chance. I don't care where it is, who it is. I just need one chance, and I know if I can get into a camp or get somewhere, get on a team, I know I can show them who I am and what I do and how I work. So that's something that we may get overlooked, but if you look at it, the FCS quarterbacks that come out and they get their chances in the NFL, they're pretty good ones. You know what I mean? You got Tony Romo, Joe Flacco, even people not Carson Wentz, but he's a great football player. You got Trey Lance, Garoppolo. A whole bunch of these guys are FCS guys, and the thing is, like, we just need a chance. I played Louisville. I'll play TCU this year. Played all these different teams, but there's no difference between those guys. I promise you. They just have a little bit more depth, and they may have been a little more recruited or got been in the right place at the right time, and they're there. Or maybe a couple inches here or there. I mean, like I said, Devin Hafford's probably one of the greatest players I've ever played with, and he was at a FCS school that transitions from Division II. So I don't think it really matters. I think if you ball, you're going to have a chance, and just getting that chance is something I'm looking forward to.
Man, I love it. And I'm expecting to see you in some all-star games next year, whether it's the NFLPA, East West, Senior Bowl. I know your name's going to be on one of those rosters, but if an NFL franchise asks you what they're going to get in Steven Duncan if they draft you next April, what do you tell them?
You're gonna get a hard worker and a guy that loves his teammates. Trust me, there won't be a guy that shows up to the park more ready to work than I will be. And the thing is, you can ask anybody I've played with. I love my guys. I'll do anything for them, no matter what it is. I'll be the guy that you can lean on if you're upset. If you're the guy that's happy, I'll be here for you. I love my teammates. That's the biggest thing I love about this game. And being an older guy and being able to sit here for 7 years, I've got to really notice that and embrace how long I've got to do it. Some people are like, "Oh, you're crazy. You could be in the work for it." No, I don't care if I don't get an NFL shot. I do, but being able to build these relationships and see these guys grow and just some of those things that we get to accomplish is just so outlandish in my opinion. And to be able to do that with the guys that I care about and I wake up at 6 a.m. with and go run with all the time and work out, you can't beat it. You really can't. So I'll love my teammates, and I'll be a hardworking guy that comes up and shows up to the park every day, ready to put a whole bunch of hours in. And I don't care if it's 5 to 10, 5 to 12. I'll be there.
Man, I love that answer. And like being a quarterback and a leader of the team, man, you gotta love to hear that. But Steven, man, I appreciate you coming on here, man. First Tarleton State player, hopefully not the last. I know you guys are primed for a big season, especially after what y'all did last year, man. But this is all about supporting the players. And so let people know where they can follow you on social media, where they can follow your journey to a WAC championship next year and eventually the NFL, man.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Steven Duncan _11, and then same thing on Instagram at Steven Duncan _11. But that's where I'm at. I really appreciate you having me on your show. It's a great program, great show, doing a lot for the
Appreciate you,
FCS
man.
players. So I really appreciate you having me and all those FCS guys on. I know we appreciate it.
Oh man, no, I got to thank y'all. I always feel weird when players thank me because I'm like, man, this show wouldn't be a thing without y'all, man. So I'm definitely going to be kind. Just move back down south. I'm going to be in Tarleton for a game this year, man. So I'll
Okay.
definitely have to hit you up when
Yeah.
I ride out there. And man, guys, go follow Steven. You already know what it is. It's always support the players and make sure to run the views and likes up on this video for my guy and watch his journey, man. Listen, I'm expecting first team all WAC next year. It's going to be a big year for Tarleton State and Steven Duncan. But guys, for Steven, myself, and the Blue Bloods, we are out for right now.